Patriot Nation.
When you are flying on an airplane with your loved ones, which every one of us in this room has, do you pray that your plane lands safely and gets you to your destination, or do you pray that the pilot has a certain skin color? I think we all know the answer to that question, and as President Trump said yesterday, it's common sense.
The Biden administration pushed heavily for DEI programs, which are essentially race-based, gender-based, and gender identity-based preferential treatments.
I would say with the lean forward posture that we took, knowing that a $17 million cut we had to take from somewhere, and that was from the non-essential duties and responsibilities that as a fire department we have taken on over the past many, many years.
Having people who are less or not qualified take precedent in extremely important roles that put lives at risk, whether it be air traffic controllers, pilots, police officers, firefighters, etc.
Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Can you back up, Boss? Appreciate it.
Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position?
Resources and shelter is available. All of this can be found at URL. Los Angeles, together is how we will get through this.
And this is addressed very clearly by the new press secretary as well as Donald Trump himself.
The president is intent on ensuring that we are increasing staffing at these agencies, and that's why he signed a very strong executive order on his second day in office, immediately terminating DEI hiring practices at the FAA. He also, following the tragic crash, as you all know, in the Oval Office yesterday, signed a memorandum directing an immediate assessment of the FAA to ensure the federal government is maintaining the highest personnel and aviation safety standards.
It doesn't just stop there. You look at corporations. Corporations have been forced to bring on DEI standards. Look at, for example, McDonnell Douglas, or perhaps look at Boeing. They've been forced, again, by the federal government under the Biden and Harris administration to hire workers, not only developers, but also workers who are putting together their planes. They've been asked to and even forced to implement DEI standards. And if they don't implement them, what happens? They are punished either financially or they lose different types of tax credits, etc. So what is going on here is a massive changing of the foundation of our manufacturing industries, of our emergency response teams, of management, etc., all based on this obsession with DEI, race, gender, and gender identity instead of those who are most qualified for the job.
And I would also just say there's a cultural piece to this as well. If you are an American who has spent many years studying aviation and you graduate from school and you're an air traffic controller based on skill and merit, and then you apply for a job and you're forced to fill out a biographical questionnaire asking you the color of your skin and asking you where you're from in details that aren't relevant at all to the job description, I think that deteriorates the morale of people in this industry. And if you talk to people in this industry, they'll tell you that. In fact, many of them filed a lawsuit against the FAA a couple of years ago under Joe Biden's administration because they were denied positions because of this DEI hiring practice that was putting identity politics over merit and skills. That's unacceptable. And I think just to put a fine point on this, because this is the third or fourth question I've answered on this subject, when you are flying on an airplane with your loved ones, which every one of us in this room has, do you pray that your plane lands safely and gets you to your destination, or do you pray that the pilot has a certain skin color? I think we all know the answer to that question, and as President Trump said yesterday, it's common sense. Rob Crilly.
This not only discriminated against traditionally qualified applicants, but it also has put our civil service society and critical role infrastructure into a potentially perilous situation. We are talking about air traffic controllers, pilots, police officers, firefighters, etc., being replaced with lesser qualified and often underqualified or unqualified individuals who went through this DEI, federally enforced hiring process.
It's to address these concerns. It's now up to FAA to implement these laws by issuing regulations and monitoring compliance. Mr. Washington, what are the 3 aircraft certifications the FAA requires as part of the manufacturing process? Quickly, please. 3 aircraft certifications.
Again, what I would say to that is that one of my first priorities would be to fully implement that Certification Act and report back.
You know the 3 types, Mr. Washington?
3 types.
So we're looking at a situation that not only needs to be reversed because it causes discrimination, but also because it puts our society and civilization into a perilous and unstable and unsafe position.
Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor?
In doing so, they disenfranchised traditionally qualified applicants for jobs in the federal government, as well as roles in a number of corporations, etc., who were forced by the federal government to adhere to DEI-based hiring practices.
I am speaking, and I would love your attention. There is a black woman at this podium, and I deserve your attention like the 11 people who went before me. Yes, I am speaking.
My name is Troy Blackwell. I know that I'm a new face to many of you, but I'm a proud Afro-Latino from the South Bronx, New York. I got into this work because at the age of 18, unfortunately, I was the victim of a hate crime. Today, I stand before you as one of the first non-binary candidates to run in the DNC's 177-year history.
It looks almost as if a significant portion of the country has lost its mind, or if you take a Judeo-Christian perspective, perhaps they've become demonically influenced.
I'm asking you to take a chance on someone like me, a proud non-binary Afro-Latino from the South Bronx.
The final tally of votes, Troy Blackwell, 0. Our rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced. With the results of the previous elections, are female. In order to be gender balanced, we must add 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. It's even on gender right now.
It's evenly split.
Yes.
So.
I'm so sorry. Hi, Brad Tunley, former parliamentarian for the city of Utah. I do have a question, parliamentary inquiry, for the chair, if she would. What happens? So that's assuming that that so few candidates get 0 that we can sustain 6 additional losses on top of that. What happens if we have 8 candidates who get 0 on this round? Do we have to eliminate those 6, or would they be eligible again on a subsequent round?
That's why I'm trying to figure out how you can come to the conclusion right now that diversity had something to do with this crash.
Because I have common sense, okay? And unfortunately, a lot of people don't. We want brilliant people doing this. This is a major chess game at the highest level. When you have 60 planes coming in during a short period of time, and they're all coming in different directions, and you're dealing with very high-level computer work and very complex computers. And one of the other things I will tell you is that the systems that were built, I was going to rebuild the entire system, and then we had an election that didn't turn out the way it should have. But they didn't build the systems properly. They spent a lot of money renovating a system, spending much more money than they would have spent if they bought a new system for air traffic controllers, meaning the computerized systems. And understand that for some jobs, and not only this, but air traffic controllers, they have to be at the highest level of genius.
Please like and subscribe below.